I just did a pretty big thing that you probably don't experience where you live, but we're on a clock right now. You just don't know it, but the clock is ticking.
Like a biological clock?
No. We're at that time in Alabama when, I don't know, around noon, it becomes the surface of the sun outside.
Oh.
Like, yeah. You get sweaty in all the parts, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah. I've been there before. Not a lot in summer, but when I have been, I sweat in new crevices I didn't know I had.
Exactly. So the thing about where I'm sitting right now is I've got this fancy microphone that you helped me set up and all this kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
However, there's an air conditioning vent right there, and it's loud. And when it's on, it has this background noise that I just don't like. And so I turned the air conditioning off in the house. And so right now there's a differential equation running. It's called the heat equation. It's like the most famous differential equation.
Sure, naturally, of course,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah. And so it's we've got a certain amount of time and before this room becomes so hot I can't bear it anymore. So
If I were to make a Mount Rushmore of people who don't like certain background noises, you would be all four heads.
That's right. That's pretty funny. That's funny. It's my turn to bring the topic today. I have a topic that I think you will find fascinating.
Is it going to be space particle astrocosmos projectiles?
Everything but whatever the astrocosmos part was, but all the rest of it, yes. No.
Okay.
No, I want to talk about famous traitors.
Nice.
People that they had an allegiance to one side, and then for whatever reason, they flipped sides, and then they became all in on the other side. I want to talk about that today.
Okay, can I ask a clarifying question?
Yeah.
No, first a statement. 1, yes, excellent, fun. 2, is there a difference between a traitor and a rebel? Just so I know what we're talking about.
Ooh. Well, I don't know. Like, if you think of Star Wars, you got the rebels, right? And so...
Traitors, every last one of them. They should be rounded up and punished.
I'm learning this about you. Your ability to make, like, I don't know, you have very good voices. You're just very good at that.
Gosh, thanks, buddy.
We were on the phone the other day and you did the Trump voice and I was like, whoa, I didn't know you could do that. It's amazing. Can I have a little bit of it right now? Like,
No, it just felt right in the moment.
Okay, so we don't get
I don't know what to do.
So I think that rebels are different than traitors because rebels, they never overtly swear their allegiance, or maybe they do, I don't know. But I think they're different because they're out in the open about their allegiance.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So in Star Wars, the rebels are like, hey, we're not down with the Empire.
Yeah, they have a flag.
We're against it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like rebels are in a different category.
Yeah, I think so too. One could lead to the other. Surely the Romans thought of Spartacus as a traitor, but Spartacus was a slave who just, rebelled. And it wasn't like he was going around being sneaky about it, working behind Roman lines and pretending to like Rome and pretending to like being a slave. He took up arms and led open rebellion. That's a declaration of intent. I sense that by traitor, you mean someone who has a declaration of intent, but it's the opposite of what they're actually doing.
Right. But what's interesting is that the traitor thing can change over time. Like it's like you don't start knowing you're a traitor. You might be firmly in one camp and then you move to the other. So you're one of the most brilliant history guys I know. List off all the major traitors that you know of. Let me pull up a notepad thing, and I'm just going to type as you go here.
Okay. Well, the most obvious, we'll make it a game. We'll play at this together. When somebody is a traitor in the United States of America, in our culture, in our history, what is the nickname for that person?
Benedict Arnold.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I read it. I read about Benedict Arnold, so we're going to go deep into the Benedict Arnold thing.
Okay, cool.
But I know you probably have a lot of them that you could just rattle off.
But nobody says Benedict Arnold in Asia or India. Their guy's name was Jafar. I don't remember a lot about him, but he sold out India, or maybe what we now call Bangladesh, to the East India Company. It was his job to command troops or something, and he held them out of battle at the last minute, like the traitors against William Wallace in Braveheart, who rode out onto the battlefield at Stirling. I don't think this actually happened, but in the movie it did. And then when it was time for them to do their part, they were like, no, we're just going to withhold these troops per a deal we made secretly with the English. So Jafar, I assume it's intentional that Jafar from Aladdin shares the same name, but that's from Arabia. And maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. But so there, the Benedict Arnold of India is, I think that guy's name is Jafar. So I guess my point is where you live has a lot to do with who the name is of the epitome of your traitor. In ancient Greece, there were two dudes who had traitor names. One was Spartan, one was Athenian. Ephialtes, I think I'm saying that right. I never know, so I always mumble it when I say it out loud. He was portrayed as like the hunchback, cancered up, gross looking guy who couldn't hold a shield in 300. Do you remember that?
So this is the guy that led the Persians through the goat path in the mountains to outflank the Spartans.
Yeah,
at the
Thermopylae.
hot gates.
At the hot gates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember what his bad fate was, but he died an ignoble death and didn't receive any of the things he was promised. And it makes sense
from
in
the
history.
Persians.
From the Persians, yeah.
Like the Persians promised him things and he did not get them.
Correct. Xerxes did not follow through because the Persians held in very low regard traitors. They thought traitors were worse than rebels, the Achaemenid Persians did. So they wouldn't have wanted to inceptionize the idea to anyone in Xerxes' army that, hey, maybe this is a thing that gets you something in life. So they didn't give him anything. They didn't follow through on anything. Is it Alcibiades? I don't know. Do you have something in front of you? Can you look it up? I think Alcibiades is the guy from Athens during the Peloponnesian War. He just traitored everybody. It was like his whole career. He traitored Athens and went to work for their enemy, the Spartans. Then he traitored the Spartans. Then he went to work for the Persians. That'd be Artaxerxes. And then he traitored the Persians. What? And then he weaseled his way back into leading the Athenians again. Yeah, I might have the name wrong, but I think that's the guy. My point is, even the Athenians and the Spartans living right next door have different names for the guy who is the epitome of traitor.
This is crazy. Like, I'm learning so much. So I just looked up as you were talking. The Jafar guy is Mir Jafar, M-I-R Jafar, Jafar. So that is the person.
Is that a name or a title? Mir?
Syed Mir Jafar Ali Khan Bahadur.
That's all in names.
He was born in 1691, died 1765. Okay. He was an influential figure, blah, 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 blah. Wow. Okay, he was basically a puppet installed by the British. Okay. Interesting. His name became synonymous with betrayal, and he is almost exclusively remembered as a traitor in South Asian history. Well done, Whitman.
Thanks. I taught South Asian history for a while.
You taught South Asian history?
Dude, we had a guy named Pradeep whose
How long have we been friends?
A very, very long time.
And you just like, oh yeah, I used to teach South Asian history.
I don't know. I don't know if it ever came up. He went on sabbatical for a long time. And so they just dumped it all to me. And they were like, learn this real quick and teach it. And I, some classes in school, I had to outlearn my students real quick. It wasn't like it's an area of expertise or anything.
You just have to stay one class ahead in that situation, right?
Maybe a little more than that, but yes. Yeah.
What's the strategy? You get 2 classes ahead? How do you do it?
Well, you read the whole semester over the summer for everything you have to teach. and I did handwritten notes, and I made little memory cards and stuff.
Where was
I
this
had
at? What institution?
This is at University of Nebraska at Kearney.
Mm.
So I had Japan, Korea, Mongolia, China, Southeast Asia, India, and then Persia and kind of Islam through all of that. So it was a ton to try to onboard pretty quickly, but I wanted the rest of the faculty to like me. So I just blew off a summer of my life and Asian historied.
Is this one of those things that you do as a young man? I have these moments where I was like, oh, this is my moment. They've asked me to do a thing. I'm going to put an inordinate amount of energy into it and just kill it and then act like it was normal. Is that what it was?
I did act like it was normal at the time. Now I'm secure enough in my own skin to admit that it wasn't, and that it wasn't healthy, and that it's not a great way to learn things, and that I forgot far more than I learned. And it's embarrassing that I taught this and people have credits with my name on it. And that if you caught me on the street and were like, just walk me through all the details of Korean history, I'd be like, okay, well, let's start with now and work backwards. You got like K-pop Demon Hunters. And then like Samsung, I don't know. After that, it gets real
There's this
fuzzy.
little thing called Pocky. It's like a stick with chocolate on it. I don't know.
I'm in big trouble, aren't I? Saja
So I
Boys
wonder-
fit in there somewhere.
No, that's fascinating that each individual culture has its own Benedict Arnold. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So, okay, so keep going. I've got my list that you're going here. We've got Benedict Arnold, Jafar, Epiphyliad. I don't know the guy, the 300 guy, and then who was the Athenian guy that all he did is appendicitis?
But I could be wrong.
What'd you say?
Alcibiades? That's who
you're
I have
right.
in my head, but that might not be it.
Okay, keep going.
Brutus, if you count that as being a traitor, I think that's a historical coin flip. We could talk about him a little bit today. He might have been the only brave leader actually committed to the old republic, and everyone else might have been a traitor by going along with Caesar. Caesar's the more famous name, so everybody likes him, and the play is called Julius Caesar, so everybody likes him because it seems like he's the important one. But Brutus might have been the good guy there, man. We can talk about that. I don't know. I still don't know. We did a whole episode on why Caesar got shanked, and I still don't know.
Okay.
Guy Fawkes, the V for Vendetta guy, he tried to blow up Parliament in 1605. He's pretty famous.
The gunpowder plot.
Yep, that's the one.
Still haven't seen that movie. I need to see that.
I don't remember the dude's name, but it starts with a Q, who sold out Norway to Hitler.
Oh, yeah, is that Quisling?
Nice job. Nice job. That is it.
Vidkun Quisling.
Nice pull.
Former, well, yeah, thanks. It was Google.
Okay.
Former Minister of Defense of Norway. Okay. All right. So Quisling. Wow, man. Imagine going through life trying to do something, and then at the end of your life, you're like, oh, I'm the Benedict Arnold of my nation. That's so bad.
I mean, absolutely. You know, I just betrayed all my Viking roots by not knowing the traitor of the Vikings. But yeah, that's the guy, right? I mean, surely in Norway, when they say Benedict Arnold, they say Quisling. What'd you say his first name was? Vidkun?
Vidkun Quisling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what happened there?
He worked a deal, kind of like what Benedict Arnold tried to work behind the lines. And I don't know, do I remember right that he was sort of a saboteur logistically inside Norway to make it incredibly easy to just basically throw open the gates for Hitler, because Norway felt quick, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that was the
basically he worked a deal so they wouldn't destroy Norway. Is that the deal?
I don't know if that was the deal.
Okay.
I guess so. I mean, I assume that he wanted to be in charge and receive some kind of prestigious role with the Reich in Norway, but I'm making stuff up. I don't know. I'm just saying crap. I don't know much about Quisling.
Okay. Who else you got?
Robert Hansen.
Who's that?
He just died only a few years ago. He was the guy who was selling.
Oh, is this the CIA dude?
Yeah, he was selling stuff to Russia.
Yeah. And wasn't he put in charge of trying to find the leak within the CIA?
Are you serious? I don't know. That could be.
Okay. So
Uh,
so basically this guy was given a lot of money by the Russians and he sold out a lot of the CIA's spies. That's my understanding. Okay. Robert Hansen. Who else you got?
okay, this one's kind of different, but I do think of this the same way. The referees in the NBA, the National Basketball Association, who took money to change the outcomes of games. I think you are a traitor to your sport. You're a traitor to the fans. You are a traitor to sportsmanship. It's different because when we think traitor, we always think political, but there are also relationship traitors. And I am guessing that at some point in your life, somebody who was on the inside inflicted damage on you or a circle of friends for whatever weird reason. Jealousy, desire to get something, whatever. I think everybody has a story like that. You know, maybe the story's not fair, but I think everybody at some point feels relationally betrayed in life. And so those kind of go, underappreciated.
His name is Tim Donaghy, and he wrote a book. Do you know what the name of his book is?
Book?
He wrote a book.
I'm a big fat dirty liar and I ruined sports by Tim Donaghy.
Close. It's called Personal Foul.
Oh dear.
A first-person account of the scandal that rocked the NBA. Oh my goodness.
It's still doing so. There's a player from the Miami Heat who just got arrested and I think convicted. Chauncey Billups, a guy who played for the Nuggets and was the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, just got arrested and indicted for using his position as head coach to change the outcomes of games because he was a part of a gambling thing, allegedly. I don't know if this has been settled out yet or where it's at, but this is very recent. And then at least a couple of players were charged with the same things, and they might have already been found guilty or pled guilty or something like that. So, the NBA has a huge problem with traitors on the inside undermining the integrity of the sport.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
You get in with, kingpins and stuff, bookies, gambling types. And the way they do it a lot of times is, do you know what a spread is in sports?
Yeah, it's like I hear people say, "Oh, Vegas says the spread is this." Like Bama 21, LSU 3. And so that the spread would be the difference in those two scores and people are betting on that. Is that correct?
I like the way you
I think Bama was actually 54 and
blowout.
LSU was 3. Yeah. And
LSU won. They just got a PATWOTD.
Yeah.
You don't see those very often.
Well, there's a reason I use that, and we'll come back to that in just a second. Go ahead.
But I think a spread is more usually just I don't gamble at all. I hate gambling. You know that I overreact against this, that I think it's not moral. I think it targets vulnerable people in society. I don't like gambling apps. I don't like gambling ads that influencers are doing. I don't like it. I don't like DraftKings. I don't like ESPN Bet. I think all of this is horse crap, horrible for society. So that said, I'm not saying this because I do it or approve of it. I would encourage everyone not to gamble. That's my 2 cents. But a spread is usually listed as a number plus a half. So a 3.5 point spread would mean that Vegas expects Team A to win by 4. But they always throw it at a half, right? To take a tie. So there'll be a decision one way or the other because you can't score half points.
Okay.
So what happens is in the NBA, you have basketball games all the time. People bet on them all the time. Let's say the spread is 10.5 points and the team that is favored by 10.5 points is shooting a free throw with 5 seconds left to go. And they're up by 11. So they are set to do what's called cover the spread. Everybody who bet that the favorite would win plus that amount of points is about to win a bunch of money. The game's over. In basketball, you just stop playing at a certain point. That's how you concede the game. It's what you do. Let's say in this scenario with 4 seconds left, somebody shoots a free throw. They miss. Dude gets a rebound. Everyone quits playing, but the dude who gets the rebound sprints to the other end of the court and dunks with 0.2 of a second left to now make the final score a 9-point victory for the favored team. but they no longer covered the spread. Now the losing team, sneaky like causes everybody to bet on the losers, on the underdog to win. Or flip it around, you're up by 9, just quit playing, but you run the other way and dunk at the last second. Oh, now we won by 11 and we covered. That's the kind of stuff that historically athletes have been paid to do. Boxers sometimes are paid to throw a fight or something, but most of being a gambling trader to sports is more subtle. Point shaving, point padding, things like that.
I hate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, isn't that what Pete Rose did? Pete Rose did something like, when I was growing up, I was just told that Pete Rose was a bad guy because he bet on the games he was playing in. And I didn't know, I was too young to know or care, but I always associated Pete Rose with, oh, he's a baddie because of this. Is this true? Do you know?
I think so. I think Pete Rose had a huge gambling problem. And yeah, he's held out of the Hall of Fame because of it, because it compromised the sport. And I'm kind of glad baseball has stuck to their guns on this, even though I really like the way Pete Rose played ball. His nickname was Charlie Hustle, head first slides, super aggressive, super physical, kind of like, for the kids listening, kind of like Bryce Harper is now. That kind of just passionate, physical, fundamentally sound player. But he definitely bet on games he was not just coaching, but also games he managed, because Pete Rose was a player manager for a while.
What?
He managed the Reds while playing for the Reds.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, it is cool.
So he says, yeah, I gambled and yeah, I bet on games that my team was playing in, but I never bet against us. Okay, so first of all, that's patronizing, because when you bet on games, you don't bet sometimes you just bet flatly winner or loser. But almost all gambling in America is against a spread. So what do you mean you never bet? Or do you mean you always bet on your team to win, but maybe as a manager, you'd be like, let's just tighten up this score a little bit. We'll still get the win. I still want to win, but I just don't want to win by that much. Well,
okay.
I don't know. So he's been held out as a baseball trader.
Yeah, in terms of professional sports, I'm not really paying attention much. The only thing that I'm paying attention to is, do you know Sophie Cunningham? The pointer girl? Yeah, you're pointing at me on the screen right now. So I think the WNBA has a lot of problems. A lot of problems. But I do like the fact that there's this one lady that plays like a hockey player.
Yes.
And if you try to attack her teammate,
Caitlin Clark,
she will just truck you. I like that. And the thing is, she's not like a tank. She's not huge. She's just like, I'm just gonna throw punches.
Yeah, this is my role. I'm this famous girl from Iowa's wing woman.
I'm the enforcer.
Yeah. Oh, it's just delightful.
It's my whole identity. I am the enforcer.
She has charmed everyone.
I've never watched a single game from the WNBA, but boy, do I love Sophie Cunningham highlights.
And dude, that pointing meme, that is the meme of the year. That's the best. I mean, did you see the very best one that was going around with that? Okay, so first of all, can you describe the point?
Yeah, so basically somebody does something and it's like obviously a foul, and she's like, hey, that's a foul, and she points at the girl, and the other girl's like, don't point at me, and she goes, oh snap, you just told me you're kryptonite. And so she points at her and makes this like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas face, and she's like, I'm pointing at you and you can't stop it. It's like, what? It's like what your little brother would do to tick you off. Stop it. I'm pointing. There's not a rule against pointing. But stop pointing at me. And so she just like keeps pointing and just like intentionally is mean to her. It's kind of funny.
But it's not like savage and intimidating like Bow Up. It's like childish and churlish and screwing around. Like,
this bothers you.
Like,
I actually completely love it. It's great.
Yeah. So then everybody captioned it. And what was the best caption of that you saw on the internet?
I didn't see the captions. I didn't see that.
My favorite
I don't
was...
I don't have the swiping apps on my phone at the moment. So
Well done.
I just, yeah. What are they? What are the captions?
The best one is it shows the GIF of the point, and
It's
like
Jip, but go ahead, yeah.
people are trying to pull her away and be like, you have to stop. And she like gets around the people pulling her away and keeps pointing. And the best caption was, my toddler when she sees a disabled person in the grocery store.
It's so bad.
But it's true.
It's so bad.
Dear.
It's quite true. That's pretty funny. That is funny. Okay,
kiddo.
so
but Traitors?
gambling on sports, hate it.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Didn't think you'd go there. I kind of want to read personal foul, but I don't want to give him any more money. The
Good.
reason I said Alabama specifically blew out LSU is because we're talking about traitors.
Yeah.
And do you know who the traitor associated with LSU is, at least from a Mississippi perspective? You don't know about this?
No. Tell me.
Lane Kiffin is the head coach of the LSU Tigers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he's bounced around. He was one of Nick Saban's proteges. Nick Saban, the head coach of the University of Alabama for a long time. So Lane basically worked with Nick Saban, and they had this really interesting relationship because Lane's good. He's good. He was offensive coordinator for a while, and he famously left Bama right before a national championship. And so Lane has this reputation of just jumping when the opportunity presents itself. So his allegiance to wherever he is doesn't seem to be very strong. He just makes the correct business decision. Interestingly, Ole Miss, the University of Mississippi, there in Oxford, they hire him to be a football coach, and he's good. Like, they beat Georgia. Like, he's good. There comes this moment where LSU just offers him a payout, and he just does it. I want to say he did it before the end of the season.
I think he did. And I think he was dishonest about it. Like, didn't he totally disavow it the day before or something? That's a dirty business there, college football, though.
It is.
Mel Tucker did that to Colorado before Deion Sanders got there. He went to Michigan and hasn't gone great for him there, which Colorado fans like. But it feels so dang personal. And so I think that's a great example that you're bringing up on the traitor front, because it feels like, hey, you're wearing our outfit. You represent our university. We're paying you an unfathomable amount of money. You're the highest paid employee in the entire state of Mississippi, sir. That counts for nothing to you? The highest paid employee in every state in our fair union is the head football coach of the biggest football program there. Isn't that crazy, by the way?
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. So Lane makes the decision to go to LSU before the playoffs.
Ew.
And so he doesn't coach. Like he left. I pulled it up, November 28th, 2025, and he requested to coach the playoffs. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to go to LSU. Can I please?" Oh no, I got that wrong. He officially left on November 30th, 2025. He requested to coach the playoff game, and Mississippi was like, "No, why would we do that?"
No, and gross. And give us your playbook.
Yeah, I know, right? So the question is Lane Kiffin a traitor? I would like to know your answer to that.
If I was an Ole Miss fan, he sure is.
Yeah. Nick Saban weighed in on the Lane Kiffin thing. Nick Saban had a conversation with Lane Kiffin and was like, dude, you need to take the LSU job. So while he was trying to figure out the career transition, Nick Saban and Lane Kiffin had a conversation, apparently, and Nick Saban advised him to do it. He said, quote, "You would always regret not taking the head job at LSU," because Nick Saban did it. He was the head coach at LSU back in the day. If you're an Ole Miss fan, Lane Kiffin's a traitor, but from the Lane Kiffin, like, matrix multiplication stuff he had to do, it was obvious he kind of had to do that, right?
Right.
Agreed. I want to use the Lane Kiffin thing, or just want to think about it. The calculus that goes into the mind of a traitor.
Yeah.
is usually quite complicated.
Yeah.
Like it seems on the surface like, oh, Benedict Arnold, he was American as you could get at the time, and he changed sides. That is a very complex thing in his mind, but from the outside, it's pretty easy. You took an oath and then you betrayed it. I think that's fascinating. And do you know what the innermost circle of hell in Dante's Inferno is reserved for? The sin of what?
I don't remember.
It's treachery or betrayal. So in Dante's Inferno, like the worst thing you could do is betrayal, which I think is interesting. So, I mean,
that's how the Romans thought. That's how the Persians thought.
It's fascinating. It's not Bible, but it's fascinating. So that brings us to Bible, the famous traitor in the Bible.
Yeah. Judas Iscariot. Yeah, this is a tricky one, though, man. I mean, you're right to start here because this is the most famous traitor in all of history. I promise you, if you just did like a man on the street thing, you went somewhere with a huge diversity of people, like Times Square or something, and you just asked everybody, name 3 traitors, Judas Iscariot would appear more than any other name.
What does Iscariot mean?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Is that his last name?
That's a family name. I mean, I'm sure it's some sort of family name. I don't know. Do you have something in front of you there that you can search?
Nah, I don't know. Keep going. Tell me about Judas. Let's just for the third chair. Who is Judas? What did he do? Why is he a traitor?
Judas was always Weasley. Okay, so in the early going, nobody knows who Jesus is. They know his more famous cousin, John the Baptist. John the Baptist leads a religious revival in the 20s AD out in the desert away from Jerusalem in the Roman province of Judea. It's pretty weird, but it's a pretty big deal. And he starts using ritual cleansing as a way to tell people that you need to repent of how you have been doing things because the kingdom of God is coming. That was his message, and it worked on people. So people come out from the cities and they're getting baptized. Some of the people who come out from the cities, it seems to be particularly effective on young men. And they go out there, and one day, John the Baptist is baptizing people. He's got some of his own little followers who kind of treat him as a weird wild card teacher. And John the Baptist sees his cousin, Jesus, and he says, "Behold the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world." And everybody's like not quite sure what to make of that. Jesus gets baptized. John reluctantly does it because he's like, "You're more important than me." And then again the next day, John is there with some of his disciples. And he sees Jesus and he says it again, like, "Look, that's the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." Like, nudge, nudge, go talk to him, weirdos. So a small handful of these former followers of John the Baptist, they go over and they start talking to Jesus. And very quickly, they're like, okay, I see what John sees. This is a big deal. And they go and grab their friends, their brothers. They start bringing people in. And pretty soon it's a group of 5 or so. And they switch their allegiance at the prompting of John the Baptist from John the Baptist to Jesus. Somewhere over the next few weeks, that core group grows to a dozen, the 12 disciples. It kind of rhymes with the 12 tribes of Israel from the Old Testament. It's a really interesting mix, these 12 disciples, because it looks like they were chosen by Jesus as the inner circle because they represent this vision for the kingdom of God that exists in the whole Bible, which is every tongue, tribe, and nation, people from all around the whole world. This isn't like a Jewish thing. This isn't a Middle Eastern thing. This isn't a European thing. This is meant to make sense to everybody. Everybody's invited, and the kingdom of God is not complete without every kind of person from the whole world. It demonstrates the reality of this and the transcendence of it. So you've got like hardcore rebels in the group, a guy named Simon the Zealot who wants to overthrow the government. You've got some like wealthy kids whose parents maybe have a little bit more money. You've got a big bumbling fisherman who's loud and brash and like a total blue collar guy.
Love that guy.
Love that guy.
Peter?
Peter, yes.
Yeah.
You've got a snarky sit in the back of the classroom skeptic in Nathaniel, also known as Bartholomew. He unfortunately later got skinned and flayed alive for following Jesus' when people told him to stop it. So all these guys meet horrible ends, except for John. John is the only one who lives to old age. But, and you got a tax collector who works for the Romans. He's a traitor. He's a sellout. But he untraitors and quits working for the occupiers and follows Jesus. So what an interesting diversity of characters. But you've also got Judas Iscariot, who follows Jesus, but he looks like a weasel kind of through the whole story. There's skepticism expressed throughout about how Judas is with money. He got to keep the money. I guess he really wanted to. Judas, like one of his only contributions to the conversation throughout the lifetime of Jesus is him being like, I have concerns about how that money's being used. That could be used in this other better way, which, clearly turns out to be performative and false. And then you get toward the famous Last Supper. You can picture the Da Vinci painting of them all at the table there. This is where communion is initiated for the first time ever. And Jesus is like, he's been telling them, I'm going to get betrayed and I'm going to get killed. And then I'm going to come back to life on the third day. And they all want to, of course, they all want to know. All 12 are like, well, who's going to betray you? And finally, at the Last Supper, Jesus is like, I'm going to dip this bread in this cup. And the person I give it to, that's who's going to do it. And then...
I always thought that was weird. I always thought that was a weird way of doing it.
Why? What do you mean?
I don't know. I just thought it was weird. I was like, Jesus, why don't you just be like, yeah, that dude right there. I just find it interesting. Like, there's some reason he did that. I don't understand. Keep going.
All right. Then something spiritual happens to Judas. It's like the die is cast. There's no turning back. And Jesus straight up tells him, what you're about to do quickly. Like, knock yourself out, pal. These guys were friends. Like, they loved each other at some point. And now you get that kind of here it is moment. So then Judas goes and finalizes, consummates his deal with the people who want to kill Jesus, the leadership there. Jesus takes the disciples out to pray on a mountain across from the valley from Jerusalem. And Judas knows where they're going. So he leads soldiers to come and arrest Jesus. And of course, how does Judas identify Jesus to make sure they arrest the right guy?
With a kiss.
What do you make of that?
It's interesting. Betrayed him with a kiss. It's weird because it's an intimate thing to do, but it's the ultimate sign of betrayal. So I think that gets back to the heart of what we're talking about. You have these deep allegiances to a thing, and then you ultimately deliver them to the one that will destroy them. And so I think the fact that it's a kiss is an ultimate sign of betrayal because it's so intimate. It's a fascinating thing.
Yeah, it's bitter. In the Name of Love, is that it? By U2? Has a reference to that?
In the name of love! Is that it?
Dude, that was better than the original. I could just sit here and let you do the whole thing. One man betrayed with a kiss. Isn't that the line in there?
I looked up John 6:71. I was trying to figure out the Iscariot thing while you were talking.
Yeah.
And John 6:71, I'll back up to, I'll just read 66 through 71 here.
Okay.
After this, many of his disciples turned back and no longer walked with him. And context is king. So why, hold on. I got to back up. I can't just
You're in John 6?
I'm in John 6.
Because Jesus started teaching real hard stuff about his own death. Some people take it literally, some people take it symbolically, but basically he's like, unless you eat my flesh and drink my blood, you're not going to have life. And it was a hard teaching, and so a lot of people kind of freaked out.
I'm going to back all the way up to 60 because I can.
Okay.
When many of his disciples heard this, they said, this is a hard saying. Who can listen to it? But Jesus, knowing in himself that his disciples were grumbling about this, said to them, do you take offense at this? Then what if you were to see the Son of Man ascending to where he was before? It is the Spirit who gives life. The flesh is no help at all. The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and life. But there are some of you who do not believe. For Jesus knew from the beginning who those were who did not believe and who it was who would betray him. And he said, this is why I've told you that no one can come to me unless it is granted to him by the Father. Is granted by the Father. That's fascinating. Then, starting with verse 66, After this, many of his disciples turned back and no longer walked with him. So Jesus said to the 12, "Do you want to go away as well?" Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life, and we have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of God." Jesus answered them, "Did I not choose you, the 12, and yet one of you is a devil?" He spoke of Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, for he, one of the 12, was going to betray him. It's interesting, man. So Jesus, like, this is early on. He's like, "Hey, I chose you, and I know you're a traitor." It's complete, isn't it?
Yeah. And there's a theme that runs through the Bible that it just doesn't make a ton of sense in any other book that you would ever read, because in other books, you don't have this one everything, all-knowing, unchanging, powerful character who can dip in and out of history and nothing binds him and all of his judgments are right. But the Bible, even if somebody doesn't think there's a God, assumes this of God. So it does very interesting things to the structure of the narrative of a book, in this case, the Bible, when you have a character who is omni-everything. If any eye is opened, if any eye is shut, that happens all under the watchful eye of God, under the providence of God. Does that raise all kinds of hard questions? Yeah. No surprise here. People have wrestled with this since the dawn of faith, the dawn of time. But in the end, there's a spiritual thing that happens to Judas. Literally the phrase, Satan entered into him. So Judas, he's kind of a unique study in traitorism, because did that guy have a choice? And if so, when did he make it? And are you a traitor if you didn't totally pick it or were under the most powerful spiritual influence in the story?
Yeah. We're getting into free will. We're getting into free will and determinism.
Isn't traitorism all about that?
It is.
I mean,
yeah.
It's how will you deploy your free will in a set of circumstances? Will loyalty be the ultimate trump card for your decision making? Or is it boldness, foolishness, pure evil to run a different equation and read the room and say, I'm on the wrong side here? Judas ultimately was on the right side, but also on the wrong side.
Well, what do you mean Judas was on the right side?
The Old Testament screams loud and clear that the Messiah would go to the cross. The Messiah is the fulfillment of all of the imagery of the sacrificial system of the Old Testament, atonement for sin, making things right between God and humanity. It's all over the place. The prophet Isaiah, 700 years before Jesus, is talking about this one who's led like a sheep to the slaughter. The 22nd Psalm, it's just a song written by David, is envisioning the crucifixion scene with Jesus 1,000 years after it was written. The whole Bible screams that the only answer to the problem that faces humanity is for God in his perfection to take on flesh and go to the cross. This is Christian theology. And so he couldn't not die. In Matthew 16, Jesus is like, who do people say I am? Oh, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, but who do you guys say I am? And Peter's like, you're the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of God. And Jesus is like, yep, and you didn't figure that out. God opened your eyes to it. Also, now I'm going to die. And Peter's like, what? No, I'll kill anybody who tries to. And Jesus is like, get behind me, Satan. Like, no, this has to happen. This is what I'm here for. This is the point, and I'll be raised on the third day. And in this, the human problem will be solved. People might not believe it, but that's what the text is. That's what the Bible, that's the story. That's the story, the most known story in all of human history. And Judas is the worst guy humanly in the story, but also kind of somebody had to play that role. So did Judas pick it and God gave him over to that? Or did God make Judas betray Jesus to make Jesus get killed?
Well, if you had one of those Bibles that had red text in it where Jesus spoke, it would say this.
Okay.
Did I not choose you, the 12? and yet one of you is a devil. So, okay, there's that. All right,
So
so
there's your answer.
after
Nailed
the
it.
betrayal
Well said.
of Jesus, Judas regrets it.
Mm-hmm.
He sold Jesus out for 60 shekels of silver. Now, what or 60 silver coins out of 30? Sorry, 30 gold coins, right? 30 shekels.
Silver.
What is it?
It's silver.
Yeah, it's what? Gosh, I messed that up. It's 30 shekels or just silver coins. What is it?
I think we always say shekels. I don't
Okay.
know if that's what the original Greek points to or if we assume it was shekels. I think there's been some debate about exactly how much money it was, but I've run the math on it in the past, and it was not enough to sell out Jesus of Nazareth. Not nearly enough.
Well, it's interesting that money changed hands. I think that is interesting. I was in this weird situation one time where a person I knew had a horse, and the horse was not great, and they needed to get rid of the horse. And so they offered it up for free. And this lady down in South Alabama said she wanted the horse. And so I helped them take the horse to this lady. And we got there, and this lady says, "All right, what's the deal with this horse?" And the answer was, it was just a bad horse. It wasn't, you couldn't ride it. It was just like an old bad horse. And she said, "Okay, I'll take it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to draw up a contract, and I'm going to pay you for this horse." And she's like, "It doesn't matter. You can just have it." And the other lady was like, "No, I'm going to draw up a contract for this horse because I want there to be no question that this horse changed hands. So here's a $5 bill. Here's the horse. I get the horse. You get the $5 bill, and let's both sign our names on this piece of paper." And she's like, "Okay." And so they did it. And I was like, "Why did you do that?" After it was done, I asked the old lady, "Why did you do that?" She said, "I don't want there to be no question that there actually was a transaction that took place. Because I don't want, once I put all the effort into this horse to make it good again, I don't want you to come back and say that you want it back."
Oh.
I was like, interesting. And so I've always thought about the fact that 30 pieces of silver changed hands with the Judas thing was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to go back to, can we kind of land the plane with Benedict Arnold?
Yeah.
Do you have time?
Sure. I mean, well, Judas hangs himself, and that's how he tries to give the money back, and they're like, "Pfft, money changed hands. We're done. We didn't want you coming back. That's why we gave you the money." Yeah, so this would be official. I mean, paraphrases mine, but the horse example. And then he goes and hangs himself in one of the grisliest descriptions of a death in the entire Bible. It's so grisly as to be difficult to understand exactly how he wrecked himself that bad. It's horrible, and it's meant to square with ancient world sensibilities that a kinslayer is the worst thing you could be. A betrayer, a kinslayer.
Okay, so Benedict Arnold.
Yeah. What do you got on him?
So Benedict Arnold is pretty interesting because there's a couple times where he fought for America. So this is during the American Revolutionary War. He fought for America, and he was so good at it, like he was legit. He got wounded in battle. Interestingly, he got wounded in the same leg both times. You know all this. You're a history guy. I'm just like telling you.
No, I didn't remember that.
You didn't know that?
He was the hero of Saratoga, Fort Wilderness.
Yeah. So he captured Fort Ticonderoga, which was in New York. Like he realized, okay, the British are up there in Canada or whatever. It's important strategically to have a really strong footing in New York, and so he got Fort Ticonderoga. Him and this other guy with the Green Mountain Boys, they just ran up and they just got it in the middle of the night. And the reason it was so important is that they captured the cannons that were there. That was pretty cool. And so they ended up shipping those cannons down to Boston, and they could use them down there. But anyway, so like he actually fought for the Americans.
Well.
Yeah.
Very well.
Yeah. And they liked him. And you were right about Saratoga. He fought at Saratoga, and he got injured there as well. So the first time he took I guess it would have been a musket shot or whatever they call the rifle shot then. He took a bullet to the left leg. I don't know if that was at Ticonderoga or where that was. Let me look that up. Let's see. Okay, it looks like on the assault of Quebec in December 1775, he took a bullet to the leg. Okay, he led that attack. He was great. Later, during the Battle of Saratoga in October of 1777, he was shot again in that leg, but that time it shattered it. Okay? But he kind of ran into that battle. Him and the general at the time, they got into this big shouting match before the battle. The general was like, I don't even want you on the battlefield. But when the going got tough, he ran out into the battle and led people and like helped win. Even though he was angry at people within his own organization, when the going got tough, he was like, this is what's important. And he ran out there and he fought for America.
Which makes perfect sense because you can't have a really effective traitor unless they endeared themselves first.
I don't know that this is what he was thinking at the time. I think he was bought
it
in.
wasn't. No, I just mean from a storytelling perspective.
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't revile Benedict Arnold so much if he hadn't been awesome for us first.
Right. Blather, rinse, repeat. He's just awesome. He does a bunch of stuff. However, he gets passed over for promotions. He really wanted to be a major general, and Congress just wouldn't let him do it, or whatever Congress was in.
I think he would have been the model of that.
But there were 5 people. He was passed over 5 times for a promotion that he wanted. He never got it. Even after the Battle of Saratoga, when he was promoted, the way the stuff I read said it is he felt like the reason he got the promotion was more like pity because he got hurt. It's not because he had earned it and they like respected him. So there's this really weird thing that starts happening in his mind. Anyway, he was given charge of Philadelphia. And so he goes down, he's like this military guy in Philadelphia, and he finds this young lady that he likes. Her name is Peggy Shippen. Okay? Peggy Shippen.
Peggy.
Yeah, she was 18 years old. She was apparently hot.
Is that in your history book?
Yeah, I read a bunch of good stuff. So apparently he was hot. She was hot. And then he was like, okay, she looketh good. I'm interested in Peggy. She was a Tory. Her dad...
What's a Tory?
I don't know. A loyalist, basically.
Yeah.
So her dad was a loyalist. He had gotten hurt back in 75, 77. He doesn't turn coat until 1780. That's when he turns. And the way he turns, do you know what he did? I did not know what he did.
What Benedict Arnold did?
Yeah, you probably do. Do you know what he did to actually do the act of betrayal?
No. Okay, this is what I know. He cooked up a deal for like 20,000 pounds to, to sell out or betray like logistical stuff, and the plan. Well, no, I'm just going to ruin the story. I know how the plan got found. I know how it got discovered. And
I like watching your brain work though, because you know, like this stuff is so deep. You probably read it so long ago, but like you're digging deep.
Yeah, but I don't have it, and I'm going to ruin the story. I'm going to give like 5 interesting little trivia details, but it's not a story. So I want the story from you.
So basically, he tried to surrender West Point, the fort West Point,
that's right,
to the British.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, so he works this deal
for 20 grand, right?
I don't know how much it was, but he was living it up in Philadelphia. Like he had a bunch of like, I don't know what the equivalent of a Ferrari is back in the day, but he had like a bunch of really extravagant stuff. And people were like, man, that Benedict Arnold, he's dressing a little different. Like what's going on? And so
there will be signs.
Yeah, they suspected they're like, he might be working with the British. This is a little weird. And so people started like, what's going on? And then in 1780, the Joker just straight up tries to cook up a plot to give the base, like the Continental Army base at West Point, tried to do a surrender and give it to the British. Wow. That's crazy town, man. So this guy, he has a musket ball in the leg. He almost lost it. Like his leg was so damaged at Saratoga, they said it was shattered and they wanted to amputate it. And he's like, no, just set it. And so I don't know what the medicine was back in the day, but they set his leg and it healed and it ended up being shorter than his other leg. Like he was jacked up. He was a hero. He was a war hero. But then what some people say is that they think he married the wrong lady.
That I have heard.
Yeah, like this hottie, Peggy, apparently it was a big deal, and his heart slowly changed, and he ended up escaping to London, and that's where he lived out the rest of his days in London. And
did he get the paycheck?
I don't know. I didn't read that part.
Did you read? Are there any theories that, like, that battlefield medicine or something was so ineffective that something went septic or it damaged his brain in a physical way? Or is the leading theory that his heart just turned and he had full control of his faculties? He was not a broken man. He was just so angry about being passed over and married a girl who persuaded him. I mean, that's the story as I've heard it. Mad about being passed over, didn't get respect from colleagues, and married a youngster who worked him over. Any other theories?
I don't know. I didn't read to that level. I read one of these like the equivalent of Encyclopedia Britannica. No, what is it? It's American Battlefield Trust, battlefields.org. So that's
cool.
That's the kind of stuff I read. But they caught the guy, Major John Andre. Like that was the guy that he was doing the deals with. They caught him, and he had all these papers, and then basically Washington summoned him. Was like, hey, let's have a chat. And he just ran. He got on a boat and he got out of there as quickly as possible. But this is the interesting thing. I found all that to be interesting. So if that bullet that went into his leg goes into his heart, then we're talking about Benedict Arnold being one of the great Americans.
Oh, schools would be named after him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no
Benedict
doubt.
Arnold High is playing for the state championship tomorrow.
Yeah.
Phrases like that would exist. Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. Did you know that there is a statue on American soil that honors the memory, kind of Benedict Arnold? Did you know this?
No, I did not know that. Where?
At Saratoga. So what do you think that statue
Interesting.
is? This is I didn't know this. And when I learned this, I was like, okay,
I haven't been there. My parents went there. I've never been to Saratoga.
I really want to go now because of this.
I just haven't been to a lot of revolutionary stuff. I need to do a good road trip. I've been to Yorktown. I think that's about it.
Okay.
No, I can't imagine. What does it look like?
Let me send you a picture of it. I'm just gonna text it to you. I want you to see this because I think it'll hit harder if you just get to boom. There you go. There's a link. Just texted it to you.
All right. Let me see what we got here.
This is fascinating. It was erected in 1887, 100 years and some change after the Battle of Saratoga.
What? Oh, yeah, the irony.
What are you looking at there?
It's called the Boot Monument. It does not show his face. It just shows a boot.
The left leg.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read from the Wikipedia page. The Boot Monument is an American Revolutionary War memorial located at Saratoga National Historical Park, New York. Erected in 1887. It commemorates Major General Benedict Arnold's service at the battles of Saratoga while in the Continental Army. What they did, I read the background on all this. Essentially, there's this guy that's like, okay, so we've got this battlefield, and there's this crest at the top of the battlefield here, and we can't put a statue of Benedict Arnold because he's a traitor. Mm-hmm. We can't honor him. But he did some pretty serious stuff. So what do we do? And basically they're like, okay, so he did do some serious stuff, but the only part of Benedict Arnold that didn't betray America was his left leg. And so they built a statue up there to honor the sacrifice that was made on behalf of America. However, Benedict Arnold is not mentioned because his mind and his spirit ended up being a traitor, but they honored his left leg. I thought that was fascinating.
And they also nodded to how he got found out.
Oh, really?
Well, tell me. That's where
I didn't see.
So his co-conspirator on the other side, his contact on the British side, hid all of their correspondence in the lining of his boot. And when he
Did he
got
really?
caught by the Continental Army, they carefully went through everything, and they found the correspondence direct from Benedict Arnold, and that's how he got outed.
I didn't know that. All right. So the guy that made it, De Peyster, he decided on a boot for the monument because he had heard of a story where Arnold asked an American he met in London what the Americans thought of him, to which the Americans said that they would make a monument out of Arnold's leg and hang the rest of his body in effigy. And I tried to find like the original sources on a lot of this stuff, but a lot of them are actual books, and you can't get to the books easily through the internet. So, yeah, there's a lot more to it where like some teenage boys hammered off the toe of the boot monument and they had to fix it later. There's a whole lot of other stuff going on.
Teenagers.
But now they have it in a little fence area. I thought it was fascinating. Do you want to hear what the inscription on the monument says?
I would love to.
Erected in 1887 by John Watts de Peyster, Major General, blah, 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 in memory of the most brilliant soldier of the Continental Army who was desperately wounded on this spot, the Sally Port of Burgoyne Great Western Redoubt, 7 October 1777, winning for his countrymen the decisive battle of the American Revolution and for himself the rank of Major General. Doesn't say his name, though.
Wow. So, lightning round here. Edward Snowden.
Oh my gosh, dude. I
Traitor hero.
forgot to bring that up. I actually read his book. So
Yeah, I got it right over here too.
So I read Snowden's...
What's it called again? It's
I don't remember. I remember thinking there's a little
Permanent
bit of...
Record, right?
Permanent Record. I remember thinking there was a little bit of retcon going on. You know the word retcon, retroactive continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I remember reading the book and thinking, okay, he is writing this book with the hindsight of history. And so some of the things, like when he was in boot camp, because he was in the Army, so some of the things he wrote in there to me felt like, oh, I'm going to write it in this way so history looks at me more favorably. I remember feeling that when I read it.
Fine, he earned it.
Yeah, but the question is Edward Snowden a traitor? Okay, I have often thought that had Snowden done what he did under the Sandlin presidency, the Sandlin-Whitman presidency or whatever, he would probably have been pardoned.
Whitman Sandlin.
It'd be Whitman Sandlin?
Yeah, it could go either. Either way, it's
Okay,
fine.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I think he would have been pardoned. The thing that's interesting to me, so do I remember correctly? He went down to Ecuador. He stayed in the embassy in Ecuador, and then he was extricated to Russia. So he's in Moscow now, right?
Has been for a really long time. Yeah, kind of similar arc to Julian Assange.
I would say the fact that he went... Was Snowden in the Ecuadorian embassy, or was that just Julian Assange? Am I misremembering that?
Assange was. Yeah, I don't remember if Snowden was there.
I don't remember either. Okay, so the fact that he went to Russia is weird. That's weird. He ended up marrying a lady in Russia.
But what are you going to do? You're persona non grata. I mean, you're man without a country at that point. So what do you do when your own country is observably breaking the law? Like hiring a private company to put up private cameras all over the country that AI track your appearance, your bumper stickers, your license plate, and then anytime local law enforcement wants it, they can just buy it from that private company. What is your obligation as a citizen when you see something like that that's in obvious violation of the foundational amendments to the Constitution? I don't think you are a traitor to say, I don't know what y'all are doing here, but...
To be clear, you're saying...
something needs to be done.
I just want to be very clear about what you're saying. You're saying that flock cameras are a violation of the Fourth Amendment about illegal search and seizure in the United States. Is that what you're saying?
Inarguably Orwellianly horrible violation of such. It's stunning that it's come to this point.
Do you think there will ever be a moment where Americans go all French on everything and they just kind of take down those cameras?
I think we're in it. Yeah.
Are people doing it now?
Assertively, yes.
Mm.
Yeah, somebody's getting charged for it. Somebody got caught and They're looking at years for vandalism, and I just think of all the vandalism that gets slapped on the wrist. But this one, we're going to make an example. Okay. All right. I mean, when in the course of human events is a sentence that's somewhat important to us as Americans, dude. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like there is a thing that we as Americans believe can happen in the course of human events where it becomes necessary to no longer participate with the thing. Now, at the beginning, I asked you about the difference between rebels and traitors. I think that the Declaration of Independence is what makes us rebels instead of traitors.
Oh,
We wrote a note and we sent the note and said, here's exactly what we're doing. Here's exactly what you did. Here were the opportunities you had to fix it. You have not. Here's an appeal to philosophy, nature, God. We're not with you anymore. Notice has been served.
so are you saying that in this case, the traitor would be the people within the U.S. government that are allowing the erection of the flock cameras? They are the traitors. Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Fascinating.
That is treachery against the country, the citizenry, the social contract, to a degree greater than a referee throwing games or changing outcomes. It's bought, paid for, filthy, and to oppose it is to be the one that is on the consistent through line of the agreement and contract we have. To promote it is to be a traitor and in violation of the agreement and contract we have.
Why is it so scary to talk about this? I'm scared to talk about this.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I am.
I feel fine.
I'm scared to talk about this. Why is that so
Why?
scary?
Why? I don't know. It's hard for me to answer because I'm not scared at all. I stand behind the the Bill of Rights is in my left hand as I say this. It's not like, oh, I'm on shaky legal footing here to say that this is inarguably, morally, legally, ethically wrong, and it is a betrayal of our country and our citizenry and our social contract to do this.
I'm saying
I'm
no.
on the most solid legal footing imaginable.
You absolutely are, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just stating the obvious. People are scared to say this.
Yes.
Why? That's my question. Why are people scared to say the Fourth Amendment is under attack? Well, why are people scared to say that?
Okay. Is that a real question?
Yeah, I just asked it.
Okay. Well, I don't know, man. Okay, here's some reasons why. The two most powerful entities on the planet, the three most powerful entities on this planet are three political parties: the Chinese Communist Party and our Democrat and Republican parties. Those two parties on our shores have violated historic legal norms at breakneck speed, blaming the other for why they have to do it for the last 20 years. And of course, it's much easier to see the side we don't like's violations. I think careful reflection will demonstrate that we're kind of in a late Roman Republican style moment in the history of our country where norms are being violated very quickly. Honest people, heroes right now, will be principled and be most vociferous in calling out their own team's violations. That's how you get back on track with integrity. That's how you fix stuff. But those norms are what protected political courage in the past. Those norms said, look, everybody can agree on this. Now with those wobbling a bit, it feels more like a power game. Who has it at a given time is what defines what the norms are. And so it feels a bit risky to take deeply principled stands without any concern for whether it helps or hurts your team, because reprisal is possible. We saw aggressive reprisal for thought crimes in the 20-teens from the left. We've seen aggressive reprisals politically for disloyalty on the right in the 2020s. It's a problem. We're supposed to be governed by something bigger than personalities and parties. We're supposed to be governed by timeless principles of law. That's what we signed up for.
It is.
Yeah, when you step aside from that, you fall back into what pretty much every nickel and dime garbage government has ever been in history. And I think we are and ought to be better than this. And I think the flock cameras, mass warrantless surveillance bullcrappery should be something that pulls us together. We should act like we're throwing another Boston Tea Party, and we should deal with it like Americans.
Ooh, so what would the Boston Tea Party of today be? Meaning branding is important. What would it be called?
I would refer the third chair to the internet. Lots of people have already solved for things that this could be called.
Do you know Ben Jordan? Ben Jordan, I've talked to him. He's a cool dude. BENN, Ben Jordan. He's done some interesting stuff. He's actually purchased, or he's got his hands on, I don't know if he purchased or somebody sent it to him, some flock cameras, and he's taken them apart and all kinds of stuff. You and him would be very different politically if you were to just sit around and have a conversation, but you would agree on tons of stuff. It'd be fascinating.
He's not a firebrand classical liberal.
You and Ben Jordan would have a fun time, get a cup of coffee
I'm sure
or something.
I'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
I like finding the shaded area with people I theoretically disagree with.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really like that shaded area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Benedict Arnold's boot, I want to go see it.
Yeah, fair enough. I want to see if there's any, if I look really close, if there's any nod to the papers, if there's a double meaning to the boot, if they meant to do that or not. But I think it's cool that the boot is the thing that made him a hero, and the boot is the thing that made him a traitor.
That's fascinating. All right, man. We should probably land the plane. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a blast. It'd be fun someday far from now to do more of a deep cut Traitors that we didn't think of. I bet there's some great stories you and I have never heard of with, lessons and fascinating stuff to be explored. And we didn't get to Dostoevsky. We didn't get to Crime and Punishment.
Which I've never read.
The famous quote, I'm going to get it wrong, but the paraphrase is, your greatest sin is that you betrayed yourself for nothing. And that's kind of the monkey's paw punchline of Benedict Arnold's life. Your greatest sin is you gave up everything you had, the reputation, the heroism, inches from, just getting to the finish line the right way. And what'd you get? Nothing.
I don't know. He got Peggy.
You can have her, man. Enjoy Peggy, Benedict. Golly, I'm out of here. Good talking, dude. Thank you.
Later, dude.